another awesome session from Mindful Living. We really appreciate your taking out the time and joining the session today. Your investing your time in the session today is a clear demonstration of your intention to become a better parent, which we deeply appreciate. I promise you that this investment of time will definitely be worth your while. It is our endeavor to elevate the quality of life of everyone who participates in our sessions. And all our sessions at Mindful Living are guaranteed to improve the quality of your life. Our sessions in the month of November are dedicated to celebrating the Children's Day. We kicked off the month with a session on the inner child by Dr. Nupur Agarwal, which was on 5th of November. This session is available on our YouTube link. I'll be shortly sharing the link to our YouTube channel where you can go and watch this session. Our session yesterday was on teen nutrition. The session was by Pariksha Rao, who is a clinical nutritionist, founder and CEO of Newvi. She's doing some phenomenal work using machine learning and AI to make nutrition consultation affordable to all. And our session today is an amazing one with two very beautiful ladies, Sharmila Pandey and Manimala Hazarika, on dealing with teenage temper tantrums. This is a topic which is, I've heard so much from the community members on how to deal with the challenges which, we face with our children as they are growing up. As a father to two teenage daughters, this is something I deal with on a regular basis. And the person, my go-to person is Sharmila, whom I, fondly call up whenever I have a challenge. Sharmila is the founder and CEO of Step Up Wellbeing and Step Up Parenting. She is an alumnus of prestigious IIM Calcutta and a rank holder from Sydenham College. She worked in the corporate sector with ICICI Bank, with Tata Memorial Cancer Hospital, Tata Realty, and with Hindustan Lever. She is a psychologist from University of London and has helped thousands of parents deal with challenges relating to parenting. Sharmila, welcome to the session today. We really appreciate your taking out time and joining us today.
Thank you, Ashish. I'm really happy to be here among other parents.
Thank you, Sharmila. And Sharmila is joined by Manimala Hazarika, who is the Chief Marketing Officer of the Advertising Standards Council of India. She's also an alumnus of IIM Calcutta and who has been conferred the prestigious Indian Women Excellence Leadership Award in 2017 by Government of India. She has worked in the corporate sector with brands like Pidilite, and we are very happy. And she's very passionate about parenting and mother to a teenager son, right? Thank you, Manimala. Welcome to the session today. Manimala, you are on mute.
Thank you so much, Ashish. Really, really happy and grateful to be invited here to talk to other parents. As Ashish said, parenting is my passion, and I would be happy if I can, help anyone here with whatever bits of nuggets that I know about parenting.
I'm sure, Manimala, I'm sure. And friends, many of you are joining a session with Mindful Living for the first time. If this is your first session with Mindful Living, please type FT in the chat box. If this is the first time you're joining a session with Mindful Living, please type FT for first time in the chat box. Thank you, friend. A lot of you are joining us for the first time. We welcome you to the session, and I take a minute to introduce myself. My name is Ashish, and I'll request you to mute yourself when not speaking. I am the founder of Mindful Living. I started Mindful Living in 2018. Prior to that, I worked in the corporate sector for over 25 years in senior management roles with organizations like Tata AIG, Future Generali, Marsh, HCL Healthcare, and healthcare at home. During the years of my working in the corporate sector, I saw how stressed the people in the corporate world are and how this stress is taking a toll on their health, happiness, and wellness. Being a certified mindfulness teacher myself, I thought there is a need for taking the message of living consciously to the corporate sector. In the last 4+ years, we have conducted over 300 sessions, which have been attended by more than 10,000 people from the corporate sector for leading organizations that include Aditya Birla Group, Tata Group, IBM, EXL, Swiggy, Signify, Schneider, and many other leading organizations. The session today is being conducted as a part of the community initiative, which we started in April 2020 when the first lockdown took place. Few of my friends reached out to me and requested me to conduct mindfulness sessions for them to help them deal with the challenges, with the anxiety that the first lockdown was causing. So I conducted a session for a few of my friends over a weekend. One thing led to another. And today we are a vibrant community of over 3,000 people who connect regularly and sharing and learning about living consciously. I'll share the link of the community with you. Please join the community. This is a very safe space, no political messages, no religious messages, no good morning, good night messages. Purely people sharing about each other, people respecting each other in the journey to live consciously. And we organize these sessions every weekend where we invite awesome speakers to share about the issues that impact all of us. So on that note, I invite Sharmila and Manimala to take the discussion forward. Just few rules. There is a reactions button in your Zoom toolbar. Please use that to stay engaged with us. Keep sharing your questions as we go along. We may take them up during the session or towards the end of the session, but please keep sharing your questions, clap, show thumbs up, love, if there's anything that the speakers are sharing that resonates with you. So on that note, over to you, Sharmila and Manimala. Welcome everyone once again. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ashish.
Thank you, Ashish. Thank you very much for giving us this opportunity where we can interact with other parents and talk and share about something that is very close to mine and Manipala's heart. And we've been working in this area together for the last 3 odd years. And we find that there is a lot that we can, share and do in this. So today's topic actually is teen tantrums. That's what most parents talk about, saying, teenage time is very difficult. There are tantrums. What we want to talk about is actually that this period is a great period to bond with your children. If you can figure out how you can communicate with your children, how we can talk to them, figure out what works for them, what doesn't work for them, it's the bonding that happens during this period is great because this is the time they are learning, they are creating their own identity, and we can help mold them. So there is this one poem I actually found, which I want to start the session with. Okay, it says, your children are not your enemies. Your children are not your enemies. You need not fear them. Differences with them are not battles that you must win or lose. Really important. If you lock yourself into seeming warfare, all perspective becomes lost. Terrible and hurtful things are said. The whole family suffers and the wounds are slow to heal. Win and lose are words that a family does not need. And I think that is the most important part, that, when we are talking to our children, when, we might have little bit of miscommunication, it's not that I have won this battle or my child has won this battle, because They are family. We are not fighting with anyone. I think that's the biggest thing. So what we will start off with is talking about communication. I think that is the core to any relationship, whether it's a parent child, whether it's a partner, whether at the workplace, whether at home. Communication is really important. We remember all this when we talk to others, but sometimes, when we are communicating with our children, we forget it, or we take it for granted that our children are an extension of ourselves. And I think Manimala has something to say about that.
Yes, totally. Just as Sharmila read out a poem to all of you, I think, when I became a first-time mother, I was also very stressed about, how to bring up a child, how to bring him up right, and, how to instill values, how, because the main stress comes from the fact that we normally like to wear our children like our medals. We want them to win. We want them to, come out with flying colors half the time, because we want to showcase them to the world that, because it's also a testimony of our parenting to them. So, there's this one poem of Khalil Gibran, which I have always followed as a bedrock of parenting that I have used with my child. And the poem goes like this. I'll just read out a few lines out of it. One of the line that it starts with saying, "Your children are not your children. They are the sons and daughters of life's own longing for itself. And, so they come through you, but not from you. And though they are with you, they do not belong to you." And, there's one line which I really love, which says, "Because you may house their bodies, but never their souls. For their souls dwell in the house of tomorrow, which you cannot visit, not even in your dreams. And you may in fact strive to be like them, but never strive to make them like you. For life goes never backwards, it only goes forward." Because, the life they will be moving on, the life they will be leading, is something we have not even seen. So all we can do is, do our best to prepare them for the next life that they will be in. And all we can do is instill values in them, coach them, and then trust them. I think, one of the bedrock of parenting, Sharmila said communication, and I would add on to that saying trust. Just trust them. And, they'll feel confident, because for them, parents are the world. So, when their world trusts them, they get the confidence and the strength to do their best. Otherwise, if there's doubt, and if they feel that they are being doubted by their parents, or the parents do not believe in their capability, it shakes their confidence. And then things become really difficult. Do you agree, Sharmila, on that?
Yeah, I do. So, because you are their world, and if I go a little more spiritual, I will say that they have chosen you to come into your world. Okay. It's not that you have chosen your child, it's actually the other way. So they have chosen to come into this world. And if you all believe in this, there are a lot of stories about this, you all can read up. So actually, it's this way. So, be grateful that they have chosen to come to you to help you become a parent. I mean, there is in Bombay, when you turn right for the airport at the Bandra signal, there is a thing that a child being born creates a parent. So they have given you that opportunity to be a parent. All this, by the way, is Gyan. We've also gone through tough times. It's not that, we are saying this is how we are. I have 2 adult children and I have gone through. So what I keep saying is learn from my mistakes, try and not make the mistakes. But like we tell others, like we tell our children, we tell them, but they still want to follow their path. You all can figure out your way, what works for you. But hear our stories and see if any of them resonate with you, and maybe that will help you get over some problems that you all are facing with your children. Yeah, Manimala?
Yes, totally. The topic today, which says teenage temper issues. So, I have always seen we should sit back and analyze as adults. They are just teenagers. They barely know, what they have been, playing in the sands and, pits and waters till they turn that, 12, 13, when suddenly there's a hormonal surge, there's a different world that waits for them. Expectations start rising, from right from education, scoring marks, making friendship, having peer pressure, having battles with their friends. So they have their own world. And we sometimes as parents think that they are just our children. It cannot be. They are individuals in themselves. They have their own demons that they have to fight. So when they go down to the playground just to play a football or a cricket or anything, we think they are playing, but they have their own issues to sort out there. So so just like us, they are fighting their own battles. So as parents, our responsibility is to understand what is going on in their life, what is stressing them up, because most of the temper in them comes from not being understood. And that's something every teenager says. You take them out from their parents, talk to them, first thing they'll say is, our parents don't understand us.
Yeah,
That's one line which is very common. And why do they feel so? Because we forget that we were once teenagers. We forget what we went through, and we see them only through this one lens of, I am the parent, they are the children. They should study, they should eat well, they should be happy. I'm giving them everything. Why are they, behaving like this? But that's not that,
They should listen to me rather than I should listen to them. That's the mindset.
Yes. So we want it to be very top down always, I have the right as a parent to say, their only right is to listen to me, obey me. Doesn't happen like that. They are individuals of their own right.
And till they reach that age, they were actually listening to you, right? So you had got into this, this state where you said, okay, whatever I tell my child listens to me. And why was your child listening to you? Because of the fact that your child was listening to you because your child was learning, right? Can you not hear me? Is my voice soft?
Yeah, we can hear you clearly.
I can hear you.
Yeah. Okay. Because some people were saying they can't
hear. You could be closer, Sharmila. I think this is better now.
Yeah, now
okay,
it's better.
Mine? Oh, sorry.
Okay.
No,
this is Manimala's. Okay. I could hear yours. So, okay. Maybe someone else's setting.
So I'd like to share one question which has come, on the chat for us. You're talking about people being in their own world and, escape. Sometimes children take to watching unpleasant, material on the net, which is so easily accessible to now, accessible to children now. So how can parents identify, that maybe the child is watching this? Are there any telltale signs that the child is watching unwanted material on the internet, or if they are watching, how do you handle that?
Manimala, do you want to take it first?
Yeah, I don't mind. See, your child watching something or doing something or not listening to you, or how you become a part of their world, cannot suddenly start when they become a teenager. It has to start much ahead, when they are just 1, 2, 3-year-olds. From then on, if you build that relation with them, that, whatever happens, like playground, somebody bullies you, come and tell me, I will not scold you. Half the time, children do not come and say things to parents for the fear that, parents will judge them, parents will scold them. We do not trust them enough to think that my child did not do it. But at the same time, we should not blame others, but we should come across as a very practical parents, even to our children, so that our children know that my parents will stand for what is right. And, build the confidence of them to come and tell you everything. And then when age starts, as you were saying, unwanted things, or, there are games today, online games, and there are, of course, online bullying that is happening. They are accessing different sites. So if your communication, which I think is what Sharmila started with, if your communication with your child is good, not always in the top-down voice, not always in the parent voice. Be their friend, and you don't always have to just advise them. Sit with them, tell stories. Tell stories. Nahi milega to make up stories and to share the value that, this had happened to a friend's daughter, this had happens to somebody, something because they did this, or, some learning out of it. And, that is how you kind of talk to them and they become a part of, you become a part of their world. And then they will not be scouting internet sites to ask unnecessary things. They'll probably come to you.
Correct.
And just
that is there. And Ashish, I just want to add, see, all these we are saying unwanted. Okay, so in us also we are creating this. What we need to understand is all these are something which is very core to us. It's not that these kids are doing it. Okay, we have done it when we were growing up. We had books, we had magazines which were hidden under our beds. I'm sure if you all go back to your childhood, you all will also know. It's just that it's more accessible. It is more out there because more people are talking about it, accessing it. So the more you make it that it is no, it is bad, these things are not to be done. Okay. It's like when a kid is small, okay, they explore their body parts. Okay. Now, some parents will say that's bad. Nahi karna chahiye. Some will say, okay, it's part of their exploration. This is what they need to go through. So if you as a parent understand that and talk to them, because see, they are going through a lot of hormonal changes. They'll have wet dreams. They will want to do, they will have their girlfriends, boyfriends, whatever else. Now, if you tell them that this is not right and it is wrong, then they will start hiding things from you. If you tell them that it is part of growing up and come, let's figure out how you can travel this path, then it is an easier way. It is good for them. It's good for you also. Yeah, sorry, Ashish, you were saying something.
Thank you for sharing that, Sharmila. And then another question which is related to this that we have got is one of the participants' son is 20 years old and is completely glued on to his phone, playing games all the time. And there is nothing that the mother can do to wean him away from that. Any suggestion, any trying to tell him not to do it doesn't help. And it's kind of taking him away from the things that he should do. So sometimes he's playing games and not doing what he's supposed to be doing, or other times he's, in the spare time playing games. So any thoughts on how to handle addiction to games and mobile phones?
Yeah, so addiction and games is something that many kids are going through. Okay. And it is also, by the way, it is within the peer group also. So you have to find out what are their, what their friends are also doing, because many of them actually play games even because their group is playing. It's this thing. So let me tell you, when my younger one was playing in the 12th standard, their whole group of friends were playing PUBG. Okay. And many of them, their exams went quite badly because of that. Okay, their parents tried. So again, that's what I'm saying. So communication, find out why. Maybe make them understand that, okay, you can play. You can't take it away totally because this is the new world. So you can't change the world. You have to give them time and say, you finish this, then you can play this. You set systems with them, give them the choice about what they can do, what they can't do with their time. And Manimala can give you some things that she has tried with her son in this area also.
Yeah. I have a son who is 18-year-old, have traveled this path, So those are a couple of things that has really worked for me, at least. I'm sharing it as my experience as a mother. When he was very young, grade 4th, 5th is from when I have taught him to be responsible for his own decisions and actions. I never became a helicopter mother, nor I set his timetable, but I told him what he has to do, and he knew what he has to do. And I never played a fix the route that, you have to study this hour or play this hour. That's something that he has to choose. There are times when he faltered. And I think the earlier they fail, the better it is. They learn from their mistake. Grade 5th, 6th wasn't so good, but he learned, but he came back. And instead of saying no, when he did not do well, don't even rebuke. You just have to sit with him and make him understand why what happened, whatever happened, why did it happen? And let them think through it. They have a thinking brain, they understand. And see, the other times when you keep talking to them, you help them dream big. You make them feel good. Another thing, from a childhood, I'm talking to parents of teenagers today, of course, but I just want to say this, that, little bit of affirmation every day helps. Because today when he's 18, he tells me what all helped him when he was a child was the fact that every day, night, when he sleeps, I tell him, you are a very good boy.
Yeah.
Whatever he did throughout the day doesn't matter. I mean, and I always told him another thing is that you are very good, but this work that you did wasn't good. That doesn't make you bad in any sense. You are the bestest kid, but this is something you shouldn't have done. And this work wasn't you. So he started associating with what is him and what is not him. So he knows, what is right for him. So when he became a teenager, again, it's not like ek baar mein everything is sorted. Grade 9 was pathetic because, first time, that whole teenage thing, friendship. Also, as a grade 9, we also started letting him go out a little more with friends, a little distance to, play games. He was into cricket. So that newfound freedom, of course, comes with that age. You cannot stop it. But the other times when you talk to him, you keep telling him what is right, what is wrong. So, it's like an everyday bhashan. It's like the Gyan session you have to give them without making it sounding like a very Gyan session because they hate it. So you have to just keep instilling little affirmation, but every day.
Yeah.
Every day, let them know they are very good. So let them, that whole thing sink into them that they are very good. They are loved, they are good. They are loved, they are good, So, and finally, when they are old enough to understand, they will know what is right and what is wrong for them.
That's so beautiful. Yeah.
And for the screen time, you cannot tell them. It's a human nature. You tell us something, no, we all want to do it. You send a link and say, like all these, jokes that come on, April Fool's Day. We all know it's 1st April. We all know somebody's going to send us some link which is going to open into something, weird. And they say that, don't open. Moment they say don't open, we click it open because it's us. So even our kids are like that. The more you keep saying no, the more they will. So distract him. Maybe, expose him to more things you want him to do without telling him that you are pulling him out of the game. Ek ghanta bhi nikal ke you can make him do something else. He will gradually start liking something else and his number of hours in the game will keep decreasing. You don't have to tell him that you are doing it. Just do it.
And give them the choice. I think that is the bigger one. I mean, with my kids, it was given to them as a choice. And my kids did a lot of activities. They were into sports, a lot of sports. They did music. They used to love to read. So the time that they had for playing games, and they didn't watch TV. For them, it was, we prefer going and playing games than watching games on TV. Okay.
Yeah.
So because that is how they were brought up. They were brought up with a lot of activities and different activities at different points of time. So if you nudge them in the right direction early on and give them the choice, say, okay, this is what you need to do. You now decide and the final result is yours, because most of our kids will go, either they will go to hostel, whether here or abroad. Now, at that time, they will have to look after themselves. So if all the time you are making decisions for them, if you are overseeing what they are doing, telling them what to do, they are not learning how to make decisions for themselves. And then suddenly at 18, they are out of the house in this a new environment, and then they don't know what to do because they have never learned to make decisions, make choices. So the earlier you start, I thought we in our parent groups, we to even say from the time the kid is 1 year old, give them a choice. You want this food or that, you want this dress or that, this game or that. So they are learning to make choices and they feel that they are in control, because otherwise they feel that there is no control. And that's when they rebel, because they feel all decisions are being made for them.
Yeah, very, very well said, Sharmila. One little point, another thing I want to add to the parent who asks the question, or to everybody, is that the child playing game or doing something which you don't want them to do, so you are angry at them, right? You are angry, you are irritated with them, and it irks you because you're not able to find a solution to them. All okay, but don't make his 24-hour, don't keep on reiterating that or rebuking the child for that one thing. Find other good things that he or she has been doing and praise more on that. The problem with us is we are very confused when it comes to praising, but we are dildar when it comes to, giving gali. So we have to change that. Make more praise, less gali. Even in the gali, don't stigmatize the child. Say the act is not good. What you are doing is not good. You are that good. Yeah.
Very well said, Manimala. In fact, there's a book, very interesting book called Whale Done, W-H-A-L-E, Whale Done, and which talks about catching people doing things right. We catch people doing things wrong.
Yes.
And we rebuke them, but when people are doing things right, we don't catch. So
this is one thing I also follow in my office for my team. I mean, one mistake, it's okay, forget it.
Yeah.
Goods, they do much good than mistake, but we always highlight the mistake, which is the problem.
So maybe you can start, if there is a problem, first of all, disassociate. Instead of saying you're a bad boy, you say it's a bad thing that you have done. And whatever it is, tell them why also, because now at this age, they start thinking. So their logical mind is starting to work. So just by telling them that it is not right or wrong, they are not going to now accept it. And like Manimala said, the other thing you can do is you can start with a praise. You can say, this is what you did right. And this is what you didn't do right, or this was a thing. So you have already put them in a framework where they are ready to receive, because you've already said something good to them.
Yeah.
And some things, I think we should choose our battles. We don't have to fight each and every battle. Choose what's important. The rest of it, just ignore. We do it outside our homes, at homes, me included. Many of us, can't ignore
mistakes.
So maybe, just choose the battles or write it down and then realize in the long run, this particular thing that your child is doing, is it going to be, really important? Does it have long-term consequences? If not, ignore. The ones which have long-term, please work with your children on it, because those are the important ones that you need to fight
there
with
are
them.
some real good pearls of wisdom coming in, or money, if I may say. So really appreciate that. And, I'm sure the people who are watching this live or who are going to watch the recording will really find very, very great insights here. There is one question we have received, which is, my son keeps talking to himself. What is it I can do about it? Is there something that can be done? Sharmila, is there something you would like to respond to? My son is constantly talking to himself. How does that one handle that? Is the person who sent this question here? Would you like to elaborate?
I don't know. I keep talking to myself in our head, and I think all of us do that. Probably your son is just externalizing it and actually just talking. So it depends on what he is talking. Many a times we keep talking to ourselves. In our own head, I'm sure all of us do that. Right?
Yeah.
We keep motivating ourselves, or we keep pulling ourselves down, or we keep rebuking ourselves. Half the time we never praise ourselves. We ourselves are also very hard on ourselves most of the time. We focus on what we did not do right. But apart from that, is this a new thing? What age he is? And is it something that has started now, or has it been going on since his childhood? That is probably is important to know here. Because if it is something that has started just now, it could be also something that some stress that is bothering him, or maybe some peer pressure, or maybe he's not able to make friendship outside. So this could be some triggers for which he is probably becoming more internalized.
Yeah, Kunal, if you are here and if you would like to.
Yeah. So he's saying kids with autism. See, it is that. So if you are troubled and so some people write. So the whole journaling is also a way of talking to yourself, right? So different people, some people will say it in their head, some people will say it aloud, some people will write it down. So I think it is fine, unless it is, you know, yeah, so that's why she was saying there's nothing wrong. So it is fine. It's just a way of expressing themselves. Now, again, it's the degree. Now, if the person does it all the time and it is affecting other areas of the child's life, does it at home, does it in school, does it everywhere, then yes, actually you should take him to a psychologist to understand what is going on within the child for him to, you know, say all this. And like Mani said that maybe he doesn't have a friend to talk to. So you have these, you know, when you were kids, you had these imaginary friends that you talk to. So it could be he's building stories, he's having a conversation, he's imagining. So it's fine. You will have to sit with your child and figure what your child is talking about. And Manimala and me, we were talking about how at this age, we talked about identity, right? This is the age where they are creating an identity for themselves. So it's very important that you help them creating this identity. One is identity, their own identity. Then it is how to be part of the peer group. So they are trying to be part of the peer group, yet be individualistic. So there is a lot of conflict in them because they want to be accepted as part of that group, yet they want to have their own identity. They want to stand out. And then the third is the family. We are telling them, be this, do this. This is how our family is. This is how you need to behave. So there is a lot of conflict which is going on with them at that age. And I said hormones and all obviously are there. So there is a lot of stress, tension that goes on. So the more you are able to talk to them and help them ease this conflict in their mind, so that at least from within the family part, there is lesser conflict, so that, you know, at the outs, and you teach them how to handle the conflict outside, it's going to just help your child be more at ease.
Yeah, totally, you know, and then help them become that adult, transition to that adulthood, because, you know, when they are that 14, 15, 16-year-old, they also start getting this opposite gender pull. They have, you know, they are probably getting feelings, but they are scared of their parents. They are also ashamed of their feelings. So who do they talk to? That is when so much internet Googling happens. So be their Google. Before Google catches them, please be their Google. Before the age, you know, I'm telling you, you know, I had watched when my child was just 13-year-old. There's this Netflix series called, I just forgot now the name, 13 something something. Okay, it was all about, you know, a 13-year-old girl who committed suicide and the left
13 ways to die or something like that.
Something like that. And you know, it was 13 reasons why, yes.
13 reasons
why she committed suicide. And then she has written notes about she was bullied in the school. She had problems with her boyfriend. Her teacher ill-treated her. So many things which our kids don't comment. And this does not happen to only that character. It happens to all of us, all our children. So they have to have the comfort of, even if their, you know, child faces a little problem in the school, build that environment between you and your child, that he or she can come and, you know, tell you openly without the fear that you will judge them, that, you know, tumne kuch kiya hoga. You know, half the time we say that you must have done something. That's why the teacher did this. No, sometimes the child has not done anything. the child is suffering for something. Make that beautiful home where the child can come and talk like, like a friend to their parents that, this happened and what is bothered. And you don't have to always provide them solution. Huh? You listen.
Yeah.
You only guide them. Let them fight their battles. You just be there. You are there as an SOS. If something goes beyond control, then you go in. Otherwise, let them handle it. Huh?
And that also helps them build their empathy, right? The way you are also talking to them, okay? You are teaching them what to do when other people also come to them, other friends come to them for problems. Acha, kya ho gaya?
I think somebody's screen got shared by mistake. Girish, I think Ashish, you can ask Girish. Maybe he doesn't even know.
Yeah. So inclusiveness, right? That's the other thing that teenagers, we need to teach them to be more inclusive, to be more kind. And where do they learn this from? They can only learn it. They mirror us, right? They are seeing everything. So even the other things, when we are saying that, this is bad, you should not do this, you should not smoke, you should not drink, you should not watch all these kind of things. Be careful of what y'all are doing in the house. If y'all are doing this at home and then expecting your children not to do it, they're not going to listen. So the story, like just now I was telling someone, so when I was growing up, I was quite a rebel child. So my father started smoking at 12 years. So he said, since I started smoking at 12, if you start smoking at that age, I cannot tell you no, because I have done it myself. So he said, okay, one thing you do, your first cigarette, you smoke with me. You smoke your first cigarette with me. And then if you like smoking, continue, because I myself, and my father used to still smoke at that time. He says, I will continue. You can smoke. So he gave me the first cigarette, the first cigar, and blah, blah, whatever else. Obviously at 12, when you don't want to do it and someone's given it to you, obviously so neither my brother nor we smoke. But I thought it was a great way, and I actually did it with my children also. Okay, so it was just a way we thought that, okay, to say that it is okay, we are smoking, we are drinking, so we can't tell you no. But we also told them what are the consequences, what are the diseases that happened, what are the problems that happened because of this. And then it is a choice. Now that's what I'm saying. So you cannot tell them that you can't smoke and drink and tell your children that that is bad and you should not do it and things like that. Because then what they will do is they'll do it behind your back when you don't know, and you don't know what kind of stuff they will pick up from outside. So it's better to do this. And these are things that are part of our life now. So you can't wish it away. And you can't do it yourself and ask your children not to do it. I don't think that is fair to them. So if you want them to do that, then you all will also have to lead that kind of a life, because you can't preach something else and practice something else.
And you cannot also protect your kid around four walls, they will not get to know what is happening outside. It's never possible. In fact, today it's even easier. Even Buddha's parents could not keep him away from seeing pain and hurt in the world. And he had to become a Buddha, right? If he would have been exposed from an early age, probably he would have, who knows what would have happened. But then, we can never protect our children. We have to expose them to the world, to the life. And as I said, communicate, instill values in them so that then, you have that epicenter. So wherever they go, they come back. They will explore, but they come back. They know where they belong. And that's very, very important.
Surely. Thank you for that. And we have a question from a mother who is a single parent. And she says, I have two teenage daughters, 16 and 13 years. Is the mindset of teenagers, who live with a single parent different, and how is it I can handle that? So she's seeking some inputs on how to handle teenager daughters of single parent.
There's nothing to handle. Just talk to them. It's your life, you are single, you have daughters. Tell them your life story. Tell them why something happened. You also I don't know your story, whether you chose to be a single parent or, something happened and hence you are a single today. Because I have friends who have chosen to be single parent through, different methods of having children, and they never had partners. And some are who have got divorced, and some unfortunately where, they have become widows. But whatever it is, they have reached the 13 and 16 is a nice age to pack your story beautifully to your children. Be honest with them. I have told my child my failures also. I have told my child I scored 18 in some maths exam. It's all right. I mean, you have to, there's nothing to hide. Your children will understand you much better. It will only help you get closer to them. Show them the bright side of society. If something wrong has happened and that has made you a single parent, it should not happen that they form a different perception about relationship or marriage. You want them to get married tomorrow. You want them to settle down. Or whatever they want later. We want whatever, but they will want whatever they want. But we want them to show them the life the way it is. So talk to them. Talk. Nothing works better than sitting and talking for 3 hours, 4 hours, stories.
Yeah, stories are a great way, and telling them that you also have gone through problems, you all have also failed, you are also as human as they are, is a great way, because it just shows that you are not this this person who's doing everything right. Okay,
no, not at all. Even in the office, I have problems, I do bad work and I get this thing, I come and tell my son, things just went wrong with my project. He should understand. He's not going to look at me as a failure. He just knows that this is life. We succeed sometimes, we fail sometimes. It's all right.
So this is such an enriching discussion, but I'm conscious of the time. We are like 10 minutes to close now. And before we, and there are a few more questions which let's see how best we can accommodate. But I would also like to take this time to invite the people who are there with us today to join the Mindful Living community. I'm sharing the link here. And please join us. And this way you can stay connected with everything that we do, all the awesome sessions that we organize every weekend. There's one more that we have tomorrow, which is on a book reading session on The Conscious Parent by Dr. Shefali. There's a very interesting book, and we have Anamika, who is one of our community members. And I am Bangalore alumnus who's doing that book reading. So please become part of our community, and also so that you stay updated about these awesome sessions we conduct. And I'll also like to invite you to share your feedback with us. Your feedback is very important. So please take out 30 seconds in filling out this feedback form. And
yeah, I think they're asking for the link for tomorrow's session.
Yes, I'll be sharing the link for tomorrow's session. I'll request you to join the community. It will be shared in the community, and I'll share it here also. Please fill out the feedback form. And once you have filled out the feedback form, please type feedback done FD so that so we have shared 3 links for you. One is the Mindful Living WhatsApp community. To join the Mindful Living WhatsApp community. The second link is a feedback form, which will take you 30 seconds to fill out. And the third link is for our session at 8 p.m. tomorrow, which is book reading of book The Conscious Parent by Dr. Shefali. So let's pause for a couple of minutes to get this done. And then we will resume with question. And thank you, Anuradha. Thank you, Dr. Kirtanmai. And our speakers are gracious enough to agree to continue with the session beyond 6 p.m. However, I have a hard stop at 6 p.m. So I'd like to take your leave at 6 and I'll post the questions that we have received on the chat and request the speakers to, there is Mr. Rao. Can they reach out to you, Sharmila, for consultation?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. So I'll just put my chat.
Yeah. So friends, thank you. I'll now share the questions in the group. These were sent to me directly, so I'm posting them so that the identity of the person is not revealed. I guess they're not comfortable. The first question is, my son is not at all seeing my face since last 1 year. He's ignoring and avoiding it purposely. Even when we do conversation, he's trying to talk by seeing somewhere around. Is it a teenage problem? So if you could respond to that, please.
No, so he will be going through some problems. See, whenever these kind of, things happen, something must have happened to him. He could be, going through this thing. He's not being able to, talk to the parent, maybe. So that's what you will have to talk to the parent to find out what exactly has happened in this last 1 year for the child. And see, these 2 years of COVID have been difficult for everyone. It's not, we found it difficult. So forget about what the teens are going through. We still have a lot more control over our lives than our children have. And they have been trying to, figure online school, offline school, hybrid, exams, no exams, not meeting their friends. So they have gone through a lot. So if some things have happened during this period, so many of them are feeling lonely. They have not been able to reach out. So I think you need to have a conversation. The parent needs to have a conversation with us or, a psychologist to figure out what the problem is, to just go deeper and see what the problem is.
And also, is it just you or is it doing it with everybody? Is he not making eye contact? Just take a look around if whether he's doing it with others also. So is he going through a low self-esteem somewhere? Did something happen somewhere, maybe in school, among his friends or at home? Something that has probably affected his confidence in himself, his belief in himself. And when their esteems go low, that is the time when they avoid eye contact, when they, or the other times is when they know they are not doing things that is expected of them. They are not doing it even to their own expectation. So they are somewhere feeling guilty somewhere, and that is another time when they don't do eye contact.
Yeah.
He's only avoiding contact with the mother.
Okay. Yeah, that's what he said. So maybe it is something to do with, some conversations with the mother.
Something happened with you.
Yeah.
Did something happen with you? Was there a showdown? Was there something that you said, did, which, something happens? And kids are sometimes, we are adults. We have to forgive them and we have to probably go to them and, coax them out of that pain, and don't expect them to see that. They are just kids.
I would, in fact, like to Sharmila and Manimala request you to join our community also, and some of this conversation can then carry on, because I'm sure not all the questions may get answered, and not everybody could attend today. They will watch the recording and may want to connect with you later. So I'll request you to share your number and also join us in the community so that they can continue with it.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you. So I think Manohar and Kalyani wanted to
ask. There are two more questions that are there, Sharmila. I'll just like to bring them up. So there is one from a parent. My child is 17 years old, has taken PCM with CS in class 11th, currently in 12th, but still not clear about what to do after 12th. What I understood till date, she is not able to handle science pressure for now. Although with me and husband asked her not to worry about competition, just focus on board only, but still she is not able to manage her studies. How to solve this?
Again, talk to them. Keep reiterating that it's okay. And if you find that in the end, I mean, science doesn't work, it doesn't work. She can take something else, you know. So you all as a family have to decide with her that is science the only option for her going forward, or because it is creating so much stress on her, can she do art, can she do commerce, can she do something else which is not science related, and telling her that it is okay, that if she, I mean, she could be a brilliant student, she could be doing very well in science. I did it myself. I used to do this thing, but finally I didn't do science, I did commerce, various reasons. But it's, so it is, you know, just reiterating that it is fine. Just because you're great in science doesn't mean if you don't like science, you don't have to follow it. So conversations, which is why we kept what we started with, communication and trust, and that keeps coming up again and again, that you need to have conversations, and the more open conversations you can have, the better it is for your family.
Yeah, thank you.
Manimala, anything to say?
Yeah, I think I totally agree with you. Now that she's already in 12th and has taken PCM, if the next step is not clear, it's okay. Today, I think we have institutes in India like Ashoka, Kriya, who offers us, you know, liberal courses where, you know, you can have a mix and match of science and arts, and, you know, she can still experiment. And if she's planning to go abroad, then they have, you know, very easy on subjects. One can take maths and music together. I mean, that's the kind of curriculum, you know, they provide. So it's all right. Probably, you know, the only thing we can do right now, because she's already in 12th, is, you know, motivate her, help her go through this tough time, and, you know, go through the next, whatever, 6, 7, 8 months till her exam, and see that she does well. And at the end, again, marks doesn't matter. It's okay.
Exactly. The learning is the more important. And we are still learning, right? And what we have done, many of us have done earlier, and what we are doing now are in no way related. Okay.
You know,
And
another thing I'd like to just add here is that many times we tell our kids, okay, that don't worry, it's okay, marks matter nahi karte. But, you know, in our hearts, we still do not accept it. And if we don't accept it in our heart, no, the vibrations that will go out to them, they know that parents are just saying it, you know, it's like a lip service. They are not meaning it. So mean it when you are saying it. So that will ease
whatever you say, mean
make her
it.
comfortable. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for that. I have shared the link to the Mindful Living WhatsApp community. Once again, please click on that and join our community so that the conversations could continue even beyond the session today. And with one last question, I would like to take leave. How and when should one explain to child about parental discord, as this is very much on the rise and the number of divorced parents has increased quite a lot?
Mani?
I just think that, you know, expose the whole bouquet of what life offers to your kid at this age. I think as teenagers, they are grown up enough to understand what happens. They are grown up enough to, they are no more that 6-year-old just aage we don't fight. It's human behavior to sometimes fight with your spouse. They may see a mother and father's fight. It's all right. Tell them it's okay. Human, it's like, you know, it's a part of our life. Similarly, it's discord, divorce. They should know what happens in a divorce. It's not like, you know, don't make anything such a big taboo in life that if tomorrow they have to go through that phase, they should not, you know, this thing ki kya ho gaya mere saath, you know, should I commit suicide for this? No, everything is okay. Life just goes on. Take it easy. Just live. Be happy.
And it's, sorry.
That's it. I mean, I just want to they should just know what all happens, There are divorces, there are single parents, there are happy parents. Many people also fear that, now I'm a single parent. When I go, the child will know that the others are mom. It's okay. That's again life. Make it easy for them. They will react to things the way you react to them. They will react the way you show them the way to react to things. And there'll be a time they will also take everything like, okay, aisa bhi hota hoga.
And everything is okay. And the thing is that just because, and what is happening now is just because you've got married doesn't mean you have to be married for the rest of your life, right? It could be you got married thinking this is how it is, how the two of y'all are, and suddenly you find that y'all are not similar. There are discords. It's when our time, our fathers went to one company and their whole life they lived in one company. Okay. Now you're changing jobs. Okay. I'm not saying that this thing, but this is part of life. It's part of growing. I mean, if you are staying happily together, great. But many parents tell me that they are staying together for the sake of their children. And I keep telling them, please don't do that, because that's the worst thing you can do to your children, because they are being able to see the discord. There is fights, there is negativity in the house. So you are not doing them a favor. It is better if you all move apart, maybe not divorce, live separately, the children, this thing, then figure what you want to do, instead of, always saying, oh my God, because of my children, I have to stay with my husband and go through this and all that. Then it also creates a negative against your children, because you are then somewhere you are saying, because of them, I'm in this position and I'm locked in, I am chained to this relationship. I can't go out because of the children. So for those, and if you all talk to this thing, your friends, please tell them that don't stay together for the sake of your children. If you can stay together with love, great. If not, it's better that you all separate, create your own lives. You might find that you all move closer. I know people who've divorced and come back and got married again. Okay. Because they moved out, they realized that, okay, no, this is something that works for us, and they've come back together, but they needed to move apart to come back together again. So, which they may not have done if they were living together. So I think everything works. It's just what works for you. Each family is different. Each person is different. Each child is different. There are so many personalities and individualities that are at play. You have to mix and match all this to figure what works for your family. Don't do cookie cutter and say, bagal wale ne aise kiya, so this is what works for my family also.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And on that note, I would like to thank Manimala, Sharmila for joining us today. Thank you everyone for taking out time and joining us. I've also shared in the chat link to our session, which is scheduled tomorrow. Just a minute, I think. Here it is. So please register for the session tomorrow, and we look forward to catching you there. And please, Sharmila and Manimala, carry forward the conversation, and we look forward to keeping in touch. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ashish. Thank you so much for calling us.
And thank you to every parent who is present here.
Thank you. Yeah. So any more questions?
The questions are all answered, right?
No, I think Manohar and someone wanted to ask a question.
Okay.
Manohar, do you still want to ask a question? You can unmute and ask.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for giving the opportunity.
Yes.
Yeah, ma'am. I just wanted to explain to my kid that, difference between the comfort and as well as using like a tool, because before COVID, after COVID, situation has been changed a lot. So as everyone nowadays thinking that mobile, it's become a, part of their body. I just want to get rid of that. Of course, it's not a big deal, but my kid that it's a tool, not a comfort, or you should use that. So how can I teach my kid about that in a good manner, not in a harsh way?
So how long do you use your phone?
Hardly very less time.
Very less. Okay, that's good. So I think that is what you need to, I mean, so you'll have to keep having these conversations. Now, as I said, they have their identity. They have peer identity. So a lot of peers are also, doing this. And at this time, teenagers, their friends are more important than their family. So you need to understand that. You have to keep telling them. Oh, and what you can do is have a conversation. And we've had sessions on this. One is have conversations, tell them, okay, this, you need your phone for this, for this, for this. Decide between the two of you all as a family, what are the limits? When can she use? When can she not use? When can he use? When can he not? How many hours? What all they can do? Even websites and things like that. It's better to have a conversation with them about these so that both of you all know what is accepted, what is not accepted, and then have, consequences for this. That, okay, if you do not follow this, after we both have agreed to it, what can be the consequences of that? And you all will need to follow through on the consequences, because otherwise they will know that these are empty consequences, and then these will spill over to other parts. So boundaries, I mean, Manimala and we were talking about these, saying no, but you should give them reasons. Have boundaries, but tell them why and what are the consequences. If they cross the boundaries, what will happen? And at the end of the day, as I said, they are their own being. So you will have to give them that space to decide. I think cell phones is something so it's like an addiction. So there has to be a de-addiction to it.
But coming here, I will just jut in here and say another thing. I have harped on, I agree totally to what Sharmila said. There has to be a discipline till a certain age. You cannot keep on going. A 20-year-old, you cannot set a discipline norm. But maybe a 13, 14, 15-year-old, yes, And like, I'll just say an example that I have done with my son. Till his grade 10 at least, there was a rule that he has to submit his phone at 10 p.m. And it was a hard and fast rule. And luckily he followed through. There were days we had fight over it. There were special days when I used to give him leeway that, okay, chalo, aaj rakho, like in the last day of the exam, friend's birthday, blah, blah. But most of the time he would respect our decision. I would expect him to respect it. But having said that, and today when he's 18, he sometimes tells me, Mama, that was a good rule you had made. So teens at that time don't understand some of our parenting rules, but the rule you alone cannot set. As Sharmila said, it has to be with discussion, what is comfortable to your kid and you. And the second thing, we do not belong to the generation, so we think, that gadget irritates us. But they have, from their birth, grown up with them. It's actually like an extension of them. And many a times, because for us, that gadget is only about social media or some work-related mail and all, kids really learn a lot from the gadget. So it's just trust also, trust and maybe discuss with them. Sit down and ask me, kya karte ho mobile mein? What do you check, Because many times I used to get irritated with my child when he's on YouTube. Then I suddenly realized this kid is, opening up things like, something into science, some experiments, some history. He's actually reading history of different countries through the YouTube channel. So then I realized, okay, he's not misusing it. The gadget irritates me. We don't understand what the gadget can do, but today's generation can also find value in the gadget. So it's not the gadget, but what they are watching there. So just have a control on, have an open discussion on that. So maybe
because many of them read also on the gadget,
yes,
right? They are doing a lot, their conversation. So many of these kids have
in
stopped.
fact, my child today has gone to a university abroad. They don't even have a single book. They have to buy books also online. They have to read also online. So there are no hard copy books in the university, except the library. Kids don't have to. So that is what life has become, and we have to probably, you know,
I
there are definitely pros and cons, and but then we cannot stop them.
We have to accept that this is like computers in our time was something we were on it. So I think mobiles are.
Now, mailing has become norm. Now, if I'm our parents say, kya mail likhte ho, haath se likh ke bhejo, will any of us do that? We will not, right? So
so I think we have to accept that. We have to say that some screen time is okay. We did this and the others are, you know. So each generation has their own tools and gadgets, and that's how the world is moving forward. So we need to accept it, but yes, these affect the eyes. But our times it affected the eyes by reading books also. We read a lot of books. We would read books under these things, and we got reading glasses because of that. So
I remember my parents used to hate the Walkman because they can't hear what I'm hearing, what I'm listening to. So they used to get bugged, you know, what do you keep listening to in that kaan mein? So, you know, it's the same thing with us.
I think each generation, there is one gadget that, you know, the previous generation does not understand. So have a chat and find out what and set rules. Okay, you know, so many hours we are not comfortable with. These are the consequences of being on the phone for a long time, radiation, eyes, ears, whatever else, and create a system for your own house. Kalyani, you wanted to ask a question?
Yes. I'm a teacher. I just met for 11th standard. A parent had come and she's telling me that her child has started blatantly lying about everything. Okay. And she's not understanding why is it. He was a good child earlier, not very good in studies, but it's okay. And suddenly he has come to age ऐसा 1-1.5 फुट बड़ा हो गया है, थोड़ा ऐसा भी हो गया है. And another very major aspect that she's finding is he's constantly lying about everything. As it goes, like she's a single parent, her husband is there, but he's always touring. So at home she's alone and she's also working. She's not able to understand. She came with a problem to me, but I couldn't answer this question being a teacher. What should be in the mind of the boy that must be happening?
They are, again, communication. I think that comfort level has not been set between the child and the parent. The child is not able to communicate the truth to the parent. Maybe, I don't know what are the issues. Maybe it's about going out with friends. Maybe he's lying and going someplace else. Maybe, you know, all the kids do it. They say they are in the tuition, they go to someplace else. All this happens only when they are scared to come back and tell the parent that I want to go with. Maybe they have heard too many no's. Maybe many of their things have been shunned down. Maybe, you know, the parent had been refusing too many things.
Yeah, in this situation, since the father is not there, what really must be happening is that contact of the boy with his father is not happening. And only mother, she's also busy in her work. So strictly a no to many things may be happening. That is possible. But then how to help the child? The child is a good one.
Have a talk with him. The only way to do is sit down with him, and she must have come to know that the child is lying from some source, right? She has
she's finding out in small actions also. She's saying
so instead of rebuking him, maybe sit him down and tell him that, you know, this is not you know, this thing. It's more like a friendly discussion that why are you doing it? And probably the parent also have to walk a little path and, you know, meet the child in between and be ready to accept that, okay, that the child is growing up. Pehle agar garden tak jana allowed tha, now the child can go out to a, you know, a pizza party somewhere. Half the time we still treat them like, you know, not now, maybe next year when he becomes a 15-year-old, 18-year-old, I'll let him go to the party or MacD or something. So whatever it is, I don't know what are the thing of life.
Plus also he will be missing his father. If he, you know, if it is a recent divorce or a recent separation,
No separation, ma'am. Only he is out on a job.
So the father is
in a foreign country.
So see, the child is missing the father also. Okay, and is not being able to say it. So many of them, they do this for attention seeking also.
They do.
Okay, they are. So because he wants his mother to find out that he is this thing. So to sit him down, spend time with him, which he is missing, because before he would have attention from both the parents. Now there is only one parent, and she is also busy because she's trying to do the work of both parents. So suddenly he doesn't get the attention. He's, feeling left out.
Unloved.
Okay.
So that's when they do.
Thank you, because we also can't understand or advise on this on their own, on our own, It's a very basic problem with this.
Throw tantrums, that's what they do. It's many times it's attention seeking.
Attention seeking. Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you. Any other questions? Otherwise we'll close.
Yes.
We are 15 minutes over time. No? Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you. Take care.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Wish all of you, the best of everything, and happy parenting.
Happy parenting. It's a fun,
joyful journey, and let it be joyful. I love kids.
Yeah. And it's a lifelong journey. And like I was telling Manimala before this last night, we had gone out for dinner. We were at a dinner, 6 people. The conversation was about parenting. Wherever we go, that's what. And my son was with me. And so they were asking my kid, Acha, so what did you do about this? What is the thing? Because he's now a young adult and they have younger kids. So they were trying to figure what they can tell their children. So it's a learning for all of us. It's not that we have all learned the best way of parenting. As long as it's good enough, it works fine. Good enough parenting is the way to go. Okay, take care.
Thank you. Bye. Good night.
Good night.